Thank you so much for attending my presentation on the best Pokemon in VGC, and first let's talk about arguably the greatest meta threat of all time, Calyrex. This thing is some of the strongest moves in the entire game, ripping apart Pokemon like Urshifu Rapid, Koraidon, and even the mighty Kyogre. Stab Life Orb Energy Ball is such a difficult move to tank head-on and even deals double-digit damage to resisted threats. If you aren't quad resisting this move, expect to take upwards of 10% of your health each time it attacks you. Its supportive move pool is just as powerful. Trick Room reverses the speed, which allows slow demons to gain the advantage, Heal Pulse gives a bunch of HP back to a partner, and Gravity increases the accuracy of the format-defining Crabominable Focus Blast. This thing's weakness is its defenses, where its 180-80 stat line lets it down a bit, but with traits like that, it can handle it. The second Pokemon on our list is Incineroar, which possesses some of the most powerful tools a Pokemon can have. Flare Blitz is the big hitter here, having a whopping 120 base power and hitting the aforementioned Calyrex for super effective damage. But what really makes it so dangerous is its ability, Blaze. When Incineroar drops below 1/3 HP, which can easily be set up by attacking it with your own partner, its Fire-type moves deal 50% more damage, which is absolutely killer for bulky staples like Crabominable. Incineroar is, in my opinion, the best offensive Pokemon of all time. But there's a side of it that I don't think many people explore, supporting roles with its hidden ability Intimidate. This lowers the attack of opposing Pokemon by 1 on switch-in, and while no, that doesn't sound like a lot, when you're staring down a choice-banded Crabominable, that might just save your life. There's two big reasons why I don't think people run this tech. First, giving up on the raw power of charcoal-boosted Flare Blitz is a tough sell to many players. You really need that kind of damage on a viable VGC team. But the second reason why I think it's not seen very often is in the name. It's a hidden ability. You're not supposed to know about it. Many of the top VGC players just don't know about this. While yes, Blaze Incineroar is absolutely the way to go on most teams, consider Intimidate for your next tournament. It might just pay off. Gen 7 is often cited as the generation where power creep really took off, and when you look at what they introduced, who can blame them? With Pokemon like Togedemaru, Charjabug, and Ultra Beasts, Guzzlord, and Crabominable, it's a fair point. But nothing exemplifies this idea more than Toucanon. The bird is defined by a signature ability Keen Eye, which completely stops all forms of accuracy lowering. Options like Iron Hands' Sand Attack or Quilava's Smoke Screen just don't work, which is a huge point in its favor. This thing is the king of consistency. Toucanon is at its best when it's shutting down sleep moves using Uproar, a continuous attack that keeps all Pokemon on the field awake. This combined with Growl to lower attack stats makes it the ultimate stopgap in VGC. The most powerful stuff just stops working in the face of Toucanon. While it isn't the best in usage, a category the Crabominable notoriously dominates in, it's arguably the most dangerous. If you don't have an answer to the bird, you will get destroyed. My final entry admittedly isn't one Pokemon, but they're so synonymous with each other that it feels wrong to include one and leave out the other. Of course, I'm talking about Dondozo and Tatsugiri. These two have some absolutely killer synergy with each other, and it all stems from Tatsugiri's Dragon Dance. When paired with a redirector like Eviolite's Pupa, it can boost its attack and speed. Then, with one use of Baton Pass, it can give all of those stat buffs to the big fish itself, Dondozo. Dondozo is not a Pokemon that normally gets stat boosts, as its stats are pretty high already and it honestly doesn't need them. However, when it gets several Dragon Dances, it starts to outpace even the fastest Pokemon. Fluttermane, Crabominable, and Shenpao all look sluggish compared to the mighty +6 speed Dondozo. Then, with its best water move, Hydro Pump, it rips through anything in its path. Dondozo loves holding the Babiri Berry item, which halves damage from a super effective Steel-type move. Now I know what you're saying. Electric and Girlfriend, water resists Steel, and you'd be right. However, Dondozo's best Terra option, the Rock type, takes huge damage from Terra Steel Crabominable's Terra Blast. It might sound a little stupid, but a Dondozo without the Babiri Berry is like an angel without its wings. In conclusion, VGC is in a really interesting place right now. Despite how many Pokemon there are, it feels like less and less are actually viable each format. This makes teams feel awfully chalky, with most builds coming down to a quote-unquote Crabominable and Friends archetype. In fact, that's why this format is often called Regulation Carcinization, a name that it's rightfully earned. Thank you so much for watching.